Dear students, welcome you in the next lecture of Mathematics 1. Today we are starting with fourth chapter. The name of the fourth chapter is Ratio and Proportion. In this chapter we are going to study about ratio. The concept already you know. Then we are going to see properties of ratios, operations on equal ratios, theorem of equal ratios, continued proportion and K method. All these topics we are going to cover in this chapter. Now let us start with the concept of ratio. Okay, so in earlier standards you have studied these words ratio and proportion, and also you have solved the examples based on this. Now here let us discuss one example. The rava laddu prepared by Vimal are tasty, for which she takes 1 bowl of ghee, 3 bowls of rava and 2 bowls of sugar. Okay, so here we can say that the proportion of rava and sugar is 3:2. That means what? 3 bowls of rava she is taking and 2 bowls of sugar she is taking. So the proportion of rava and sugar is 3:2, which we can write as 3/2. Okay, so this ratio 3:2 we can write as 3/2. Now these two numbers we say that they represent the ratio of rava and sugar. Now if 12 units of rava are used, how many units of sugar are required? Okay, the proportion is given to us and we have to find out the units of sugar when the units of rava are 12. So here this is unknown to us. So let's take that as x. Always you know that whatever unknown is there, we take it as x. So the number of bowls we took as x. So here now we have the information that proportion of rava and sugar is 3:2. And here for rava we have 12 units and for sugar we have x units. So if we write side by side in the form of equation, or if we think about the ratio, they are going to be same. That means we can write that 3/2 is equal to 12/x. And from that if we cross multiply we get 3x is equal to 24, and from that x is equal to 8. So if here for the preparation of laddu, if 12 units of ravas are taken, then you require 8 units of sugar. Okay, so this way we can think about the ratio, and if we know one quantity we can find the other quantity by using the given ratio. Now here, like for 12 units of rava and 8 units of sugar here. Okay, so if you will find that here, if we multiply 3 by 4 we are going to get 12, and if we multiply 2 by 4 we are going to get 8. That means if we multiply the two numbers in the ratio by the same number, then we can get the another ratio which is equal. So always what we have to keep in mind is this ratio, it gives us the reduced form. That means here if 3k bowls of rava are used, 2k bowls of sugar are required. Yes, because the ratio is what? 3/2, which is equal to 3k/2k. So whenever we think about the ratio, it doesn't mean that it contains the same number. It is always multiple of some other constant number which is called as k. That means both the places some constant or some common multiple is always present. Okay, and here in this case we can find that the common multiple is 4, as I have said. 3 4s are 12 and 2 4s are 8. So here that 4 is a common multiple. Okay, so this is called as concept of ratio. Now this concept we can further extend to 3 numbers also. We can extend to 4 numbers also. So let us extend it to the 3 numbers. Okay, so here let us take now the proportion of ghee, rava and sugar. Okay, previously we were having only rava and sugar. Now we have three quantities: ghee, rava and sugar. So the proportion is 1:3:2. Okay. So when we think about two quantities, like when we think about only ghee and rava, the ratio is 1:3. And we think about rava and sugar, the ratio is 3:2. And from this, what we can say that the proportion of ghee, rava and sugar is 1:3:2. Okay. So here, when we think about two numbers, we use the word ratio, and when we think about more words, we use the word proportion. Okay, generally we use the word proportion. Okay, so here also there is some common multiple. So that multiple, let us take us as k. So if k bowls of ghee are used, 3k bowls of rava are to be used, and 2k bowls of sugar are to be used. So here, if 12 bowls of rava are given and they have asked us the quantity of ghee and sugar. So here you know that where is ghee? Ghee is in the first place and rava is in the second place, where we have 3. So there, here for rava we have 3k. So value of 3k is 12, and therefore k is equal to 4. That means that constant number we got 4. And from that we can say that here, if we want the quantity of sugar, we have to multiply this 2 by 4. So 2 4s are 8. So here we will require 8 bowls of sugar, and for ghee is having only 1 k means only k. So k is 4, and we will require 4 bowls of ghee. So this way, if the ratio or the proportion is given to us, and if we know one quantity, we can find the remaining quantities. Okay. Let us think about the 4 numbers now. Okay, we are extending the same concept of proportion for 4 numbers. Okay, and we can continue further for more entities also, 5 numbers, 6 numbers. Okay, so let us think about the 4 numbers A, B, C, D, and their ratio is given, or their proportion is given, 2:3:7:4. Okay, now since this is a proportion, we have to think of some common multiple, and here the common multiple is taken as m. So the numbers will become 2m, 3m, 7m and 4m. Okay, so whenever you are provided with ratio, you have to always think of the common multiple, and from that you can write down the numbers. Like here the common multiple is m, so the numbers are written here. Now from this information we can find out the value of m. For example, the sum of this number is 48. The sum is provided to us. See, the numbers are with us and their sum. That means what? If we add them, we are going to get 48. 2m plus 3m plus 7m plus 4m. If we add, we are going to get 16m is equal to 48. And from that, the value of m is 3. And by using this value of m, and by using these numbers, see here, 2m, 3m, 7m and 4m, we can get those numbers. 2 into 3 is 6. 3 into 3 is 9. 7 into 3 is 21. And 4 into 3 is 12. And therefore the required numbers are 6, 9, 21 and 12. Okay. So I hope you must have understood the concept of ratio. What you have to keep in mind is, always whenever the ratio is given, you have to think of the common multiple. Okay, that the number has some common multiple. Generally we take it as k. You can take any alphabet here. Okay, you can take m, you can take p. Okay, but generally we are taking k or we are using m. Okay, let us go further now. Now this is also what you have studied in the previous standards. This is direct proportion. Okay, also you call it as variation. The word variation you know better. Direct variation and inverse variation. So again we are going to discuss these concepts. Direct proportion or direct variation. For this we are going to take one example. Suppose a car covers a distance of 10 kilometers in 1 liter of petrol. So to cover the distance of 220 into 10, that is 200 kilometers, it will consume 20 liters of petrol. Okay, why? Because 1 liter for 10 kilometers. So for in 20 liters it will go, or it will cover the distance of 200 kilometers. If 40 liters of petrol is consumed, then the distance traveled will be 40 into 10, that is 400 kilometers. That means here what you have to keep in mind in direct proportion is, if one quantity is increasing, the other also is increasing. See, 1 liter 10 kilometers, correct? 20 liters 200 kilometers, 40 liters 400 kilometers. So as the liters of petrol are increasing, at the same time the distance also is increasing. So when the second quantity increases with the help of first quantity, or as the first quantity increases, second also increases, then this is called as what? Direct proportion. Okay, so all this information we can write in the tabular form, that petrol in liters, okay, just take it as x and distance will take as y. So in 1 liter 10 kilometers, in 20 liters 200 kilometers, in 40 liters 400 kilometers. So everywhere if we find the ratio, or if we go for division x upon y, then this is 1 upon 10, 20 upon 200 also is 1 upon 10, 40 upon 400 also is 1 upon 10. So see, here also 1 upon 10, here also 1 upon 10, here also 1 upon 10. That means this ratio x upon y, or the division, remains constant here. Okay, so in case of direct variation, division remains constant. You have to keep this in mind. So here the ratio of the consumption of petrol and the distance covered is constant. This ratio is constant. So this type of variation, or this type of proportion, is called as direct proportion. Okay, so the two quantities are in direct proportion, or they are in direct variation. In that case their ratio remains the same, or you can say the division remains the same. Okay, let us see now the inverse variation or inverse proportion. The same example we will take of the distance, but here in place of the liters or petrol we are taking the speed. Okay, a car take 2 hours to cover the distance of 100 kilometers at the speed of 50 km per hour. Obviously 50 kilometers per hour, so for 100 kilometers is going to take 2 hours. A bullock cart travels 5 kilometers in 1 hour. To cover the distance of 100 kilometers at the speed of 5 kilometers per hour, the bullock cart takes 20 hours. Okay, so here for 100 kilometers the car is taking only 2 hours. Why? Because the speed of the car is more. Opposite to that, the bullock cart is taking 20 hours to cover the same distance, because the speed of the bullock cart is less. So here you will observe that as the speed increases, time decreases. Correct? So here in this case, as one quantity is increasing, other quantity is decreasing. Okay, so let us write down this information now in tabular form. Okay, vehicle, we have two vehicles, one is car and the other is bullock cart. And here what you will find is distance is same. So we will try to write down the formula for distance. The formula for distance is speed into time. So for car the speed is 50 kilometers per hour, and for bullock cart the speed is 5 kilometers per hour. And time taken here is 2 hours and time taken here is 20 hours. If we try to divide here 50 divided by 5, 10, and 2 divided by 10, 1 upon 10, you will find that the ratio is not same here. Instead you will find that 50 into 2 is 100 and 5 into 20 is also 100. So here in this case the product remains the same. In case of direct variation, ratio remains the same, and in case of inverse variation or inverse proportion, product remains the same. That means in case of direct variation, you have seen previously x upon y is equal to k. And in case of inverse variation or inverse proportion, x into y is equal to k. Okay. So here the product remains the same. You will find that the product of speed into time is constant. So such variation or such proportion is called as inverse variation or inverse proportion. Okay. So this already you have studied in lower standard. This was only the revision for you. Now let us go further in the ratios. Now we are going to see the properties of ratio. Very first property, ratio of numbers A and B is always written as A is to B. This symbol you will read as is to. A is to B, which is same as A upon B. Here A is called as predecessor, that is first term, and B is called as successor, the second term. You can simply use the words first term and the second term. Correct? The second one, in the ratio of two numbers, if the second term is 100, then it is called as percentage. Percent, the word cent stands for 100. Per 100. So if the second quantity is 100, then that particular ratio is called as percentage. Correct? Third one, the ratio remains unchanged if its terms are multiplied or divided by non-zero number. Okay? You can take example. 3:4 is same as 6:8 is same as 9:12. That means here in the second case, both the numbers are multiplied by 2. 3 2s are 6 and 4 2s are 8. Then also the ratio is going to remain same. If you multiply by 3, then also the ratio is going to remain the same. If you multiply by 100, then also the ratio is going to remain the same. That means here you can multiply by any non-zero number, then the ratio is going to remain same. And same thing is applicable for the three numbers also. Okay, it is applicable to two numbers also, it's applicable to three numbers also, four numbers also. Okay, so always A is to B we can write as AK is to BK, or A upon B is equal to AK upon BK. As I have said, this K is called as common multiple. Similarly, for A is to B is to C, it's same as AK is to BK is to CK. Okay. Then now when we want to compare two quantities, or we want to take them as a ratio, then they must be in the same unit. Like if you want to compare the distance, it should be either in meters or it should be in kilometers. If one quantity is in meters and other is in kilometers, you cannot compare. Okay, so this is important that whenever you want to find the ratio, it should have, or both the quantities or three quantities or four quantities, they should have the same unit. Okay, like if you want to compare the two quantities by weight, and if one quantity is in kilograms and other is in grams, you cannot compare. Both the quantities, either they should be in kilograms or they should be in grams, then only you can compare them. Okay, so this is an important property, that the two quantities must have the same unit, then and then only you can find out the ratio. Then the next one is the ratio of the two quantities is unitless. That means the ratio is not having unit. Okay, because when we write upon, like 2 kilometers upon 3 kilometers, when we write it, that kilometers and kilometers get cancelled and we get 2 upon 3. So the ratio of the two quantities is always unitless. You will find that there is no unit written to the ratio. Okay, the example here, the ratio of 2 kg and 300 grams. So see, this one quantity is in kg and other is in grams. So we cannot write it's 2 is to 300, because we have seen that they should have the same unit. So here we have to convert this 2 kg to grams. So when we convert to grams, we are going to get 2000. Now 2000 grams and 300 grams we can compare. Okay, and that ratio will be 20 is to 3. So this is wrong and this is correct. Okay. So this is important that whenever you want to find a ratio, both the quantities should be in same unit. Okay. All these properties you will find in your textbook. Go through them and you must know all these properties, then and then only you can solve the sum. Now let us go further. Let us see some examples based on the properties or whatever knowledge we have seen. So I am discussing the textual examples. So first textual example, the ratio of ages of Seema and Rajeshri is 3:1. The ratio of ages of Rajeshri and Atul is 2:3. Then find the ratio of ages of Seema, Rajeshri and Atul. Okay, now here Seema and Rajeshri is given as 3:1 and Rajeshri and Atul is given as 2:3. So we can write down those two ratios. Like Seema's age is to Rajeshri's age is equal to 3:1 and Rajeshri's age is to Atul's age is equal to 2:3. You will find that Rajeshri is common in both these two ratios. Okay, so the second term of the first ratio and the first term of the second ratio, it is for the same person. So if we want to compare these ages of these three people, we have to make these terms same. That means here the second term of the first ratio and the first term of the second ratio should be same. So what we should do here, here it is 3:1. So here it is 1 and here it is 2. We have to always go for LCM. LCM of 1 and 2 is what? 2, least common multiple. Okay. So here if we want to make it 2 here, both the places we have to multiply by 2. Okay. So if we multiply here by 2, as we have seen the quantity that we can multiply both the numbers by the same non-zero number. So if I am multiplying here second number by 2, I have to multiply first number also by 2. So 3:1 I can write as 6:2. Now you will find that here we have 6:2 and here we have 2:3. So see, this first number and this second number is same. You can see here. See, Seema's age upon Rajeshri's age is equal to 6/2 and Rajeshri's age upon Atul's age is equal to 2/3. This is same. So now we can write down the ratio together for all the three persons. That is, Seema's age is to Rajeshri's age is to Atul's age is equal to 6:2:3. Simply we cannot write 3:1:3. Why? Because see, this second number and this first number is not same. We have to make it same. Then and then only we can compare. Okay. So this is one example how to get a combined ratio of the two different ratios. Okay. Let us go further. The second example. The length of a rectangular field is 1.2 kilometers and its breadth is 400 meters. Okay. The length is provided to us in kilometers and the breadth is provided to us in meters. Find the ratio of the length to the breadth. We have to find out that ratio. So as I have told, as we have seen in the properties, that whenever we want to find out the ratio, the two quantities should have same unit. But here the length is in kilometers and the breadth is in meters. So we have to convert these kilometers to meters. Okay. So this 1.2 kilometers is equal to 1.2 into 1000, that is 1200 meters. You know that 1000 meter is equal to 1 kilometers. So whenever you want to convert kilometers into meters, you have to multiply by 100. Okay. Now see, the length is in meters 1200 meters and breadth is also in meters, that is 400 meters. So we can find out the ratio of 1200 meters to 400 meters as 1200 upon 400. These two zeros are cancelled and you know that 4 3s are 12, or 4 we can write as 12 we can write as 4 into 3 and 4 we can write as 4 into 1 and 4 got cancelled and the answer is 3 upon 1, that is 3:1. That means the ratio of length to the breadth is 3:1. Okay. Let us go further. One more example. The ratio of expenditure and income of Mahesh is 3:5. Find the percentage of expenses to his income. Okay, so the ratio is given, and whenever the ratio is given, you have to think of the common multiple. Okay, that means it is having some common multiple. It doesn't mean that the income of Mahesh is 3 rupees or 3 something, and the expenditure is 3 rupees and it is 5 rupees. It's not like that. It's a ratio. It has some common multiple. Now we want to find the percentage of expense to the income. We have seen in the properties that whenever the second quantity is 100, it is called as percentage. Okay, so here the second quantity is what? 5. You can see here. And we want to convert it into 100. So we should make this second term 100. So how we can make this 500? If we multiply 5 by 20, we are going to get 100. But as we have seen in the second property, we have to multiply both the places. We have to multiply both the terms. First term as well as second term. So here we are multiplying both the places. 3 into 20 and 5 into 20. So what we are getting? 60 upon 100. Now this second quantity is 100. So the ratio is called as percentage, and this 60 upon 100 we can write as 60%. And from that we can say that the Mahesh spent 60% of his income, or we can say that the percentage of expenses is 60%. Okay, so always have to keep in mind, whenever you want to find out the percentage, you have to make second quantity 100. Or the second method is, whatever ratio you have 3 upon 5, multiply by that 100. 3 upon 5 into 100, so you will get 300 upon 5. Then also you are going to get the answer 60. Okay, so whenever you want to find percentage, either you make the second term 100 or simply you multiply by 100 and you are going to get the percentage. Okay, then the next example, fourth one. The ratio of number of mango trees to chiku trees in an orchard is 2:3. If 5 more trees of each type are planted, the ratio of the trees would be 5 upon 7. Then find the number of mango and chiku trees in the orchard. So this is word problem based on the ratio. Okay, here we are provided with the ratio, and whenever we are provided with the ratio, always keep in mind that it has some common multiple. So always write down the first sentence as it is from the question, that the ratio of the tree is what? 2:3. And then you have to write down, let the common multiple be x, or you can take k also. So from that what we can say is, the number of mango trees is 2x and number of chiku trees is 3x. Always keep this in mind. Don't write number of mango trees is 2 and number of chiku trees is 3. This is having some multiple. You have to write 2x and 3x. Okay. So from the first statement we have written this. We have written the ratio. We have taken the common multiple and we have written the number of trees which we want to find. Now read the given condition. If 5 more trees of each type are planted, then the ratio is going to become 5:7. That means if we add 5 to both the places, the ratio is going to change to 5:7. So we can write down that 2x plus 5 upon 3x plus 5 is equal to 5 upon 7. That is a new ratio. Then you will go for cross multiplication to get the answer. Okay. So 7 into 2x is 14x. 7 into 5 is 35. Similarly, 3x into 5 is 15x and 5 into 5 is 25. Now, shift this 14x this side and 25 that side. So, what you will get? X is equal to 10. Here the value of x we got as 10, but you don't have to stop here because you have to find out the number of mango trees and chiku trees. So, see here, we have to find value of 2x and 3x. So therefore, the number of mango trees in the orchard are 2x, that is 2 into 10 is equal to 20, and number of chiku trees are 3x, that is 3 into 10 is equal to 30. Okay. So this way we are going to solve the problems. Now next time we will start with practice set 4.1. Now example number 5 just above practice set 4.1 is cancelled. For this year, this particular sum is not there. It will not ask for the evaluation. Okay, so take a note of this change. In your textbook, you put the mark with pencil that this sum is not there. Okay, so you have to take note of all these things. So we will meet in the next lecture and we will start with practice set 4.1. Till that, you go through all the solved examples from the textbook. Also, try to understand the properties of the ratios which I have explained. If you know all these things better, then and then only you can solve the sums. Okay students, so today we are stopping here. Thank you.